I am not really a math guy, you know.
I just want to talk to him.
Dad, this is ridiculous.
I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him.
Go fuck yourself.
The reason that bad things happen to you is because you're a dumbass.
The team, go sports!
All right, can you just explain what's going on here?
Thank you, I have no idea. Holy crap!
It was the spirit of Gonzo that led me down that slide to entertain the people. Are you not entertained by me doing my own stunts? It just went a little sideways as far as the last run down the slide, but I'm doing good, a little sore, but ready for some baseball.
Holy crap!
Welcome back to Fantasy Football by Committee, powered by Flurry Sports. It can be tough to win a fantasy league on your own, but at FFBC, we will work together to bring home the hardware. Hosted by Zach Bruner and the rest of the Flurry Sports crew, we will give top-level analysis, answer your questions, and, well, go off on other tangents.
That was after I tried to get ChatGPT to admit that 9/11 was an inside job, but it stood firm. It gave quite a few solid points that it was true.
Welcome to Fantasy Football by Committee. The show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello. Welcome back to Fantasy Football by Committee. Just because the season's over doesn't mean we're over. And we are here to give you some Underdog fantasy picks for Wild Card Weekend. Like last week, we're just going to bring up Underdog here, talk through the games, give you guys some winning picks. And we're just all going to make money together, which seems like a cool thing. So you watch this channel, you get paid, we get paid, and away we go. But before that, if you are unfamiliar with Underdog Fantasy, scan this QR code. It's going to bring you to the app. Download the app, Underdog Fantasy, and sign up with promo code FLURRY. That's FLURRY. And you get a $100 deposit match. And just so you know, on top of that, so you get $100 for free. Boom. Good to go. There's going to be some sick promos during the NFL playoffs here, especially Wild Card Weekend. Every single day, there's going to be flash promos that is essentially designed to give you free money. So you get $100 for free. You're going to get more free money. And then there's a brand new feature that's going to be announced Friday, I do believe. It is something people have been clamoring for a while, tested just for NFL playoffs. Trust me. So if you are on the edge, on the fence, whatever, to download Underdog Fantasy, now's the time to definitely do it. Get signed up right now before the big rush comes and maybe, shit hits the fan. Get ready, lock these picks in, and we're going to make some serious money this weekend. I promise you. Underdog Fantasy. And on top of the pick'ems, you can enter best ball drafts for the entire playoffs as well. And we might, if we have time here, go through a draft, just us three, but you can enter 6 player and a bunch of other players. Yes, Luke, what's up?
Oh, no, keep going on your promo.
Okay. Usually timeout means.
Sorry, I meant after you're done with your promo.
Okay. Of course. But yes. So you can enter best ball drafts for the entire playoffs. You can enter just this weekend's drafts. You can enter drafts for just Saturday, just Sunday, hell, just Monday, if you can believe that. But there's all kinds of NFL playoffs drafts and pick'ems to enter. Other sports as well. You can do best ball for PGA now. There's PGA drafts. There's NBA. There's NHL. And there's UFC. There's all kinds of shit. Esports too. I don't know esports, but I assume if you know it, you watch it, probably easy to make money. So sign up with promo code Flurry. Luke, call your timeout. What do you guys say?
Well, I just wanted to talk a little bit, before we get to underdog picks.
Okay, sure.
There's obviously been a lot going on in the NFL, with Black Monday and coaches getting fired. I just wanted to kind of riff if you guys had any strong thoughts on coaches that got fired, where do you think they'll go, anything like that.
Well, I mean, the two best candidates that got fired obviously are Carroll and Vrabel.
Yeah, certainly.
Vrabel will take the Patriots job if they move on from Belichick. Otherwise, he'll go somewhere.
Is it?
Tell something about the PWHL. I don't even know what you're talking about. Something hockey league.
Is it
But
is it a little surprising that Carroll got fired?
there's so many mixed reports coming out right now. Supposedly, he was fighting to keep the head coaching job.
Really?
So if this was truly like not against, like completely against his will to move to the front office, it is surprising to me. I think he's one of the best coaches in the NFL.
Great.
Supposedly things got a little bit stale there, and that happens after someone's in a position for so long. Like, I think you can say the same thing about Belichick. I think Belichick's the greatest coach possibly of any sport ever, for sure football. But, you know, to say that there shouldn't be a parting of ways there, like clearly something is amiss there, something stale, you need to inject life into it somehow. And Seattle, this is probably the way to do it. I assume I assume Dan Quinn goes there.
Yeah.
And then, you know,
Goes
they're
back.
just gonna, you know, run it that way.
Imagine.
But it's weird.
Yeah, imagine like I know Washington has like Eric Bieniemy, and it kind of feels like he's being groomed to be the head coach, right? But imagine if they could like bring in a Vrabel, Arthur Smith, and a Pete Carroll, all three of them, just run head coach, OCDC.
Well, wherever Vrabel goes, I assume that's where Arthur Smith will go. He'll just be his offensive coordinator again, would be my guess. I don't know where Vrabel would go if the New England job doesn't open up, though. Like, I don't know what makes sense.
I agree. Now, let me throw this dart at you guys. Does anyone make the move down to the Alabama job?
The Alabama job?
Saban's retiring.
Is he? I completely missed that.
Yeah.
The rumors were last week and it was official today, which, by the way, the odds were released. Coach, let me just read off some of these because they're wild. Where is it? Urban Meyer 10-1. That's funny. D'Amico Robbins 22-1. Our guy Clinton Dix 75-1. Adam Gase 100-1. Pete Carroll 80-1. Jimbo Fisher 100-1. Wild.
Jimbo. Give it to Lane Kiffin.
That's what I'm saying. You know what it needs to be is Lane Kiffin.
Lane
Yeah,
Kiffin
100%.
is 5-1. The only two people above him are Dan Lanning and Dabo Sweeney.
No way, Dabo's going to Bama.
I can see Kalen DeBoer.
Alabama will not hire Dabo because Dabo doesn't believe in NIL.
Right.
So Bama's not going to do that.
Or is like Bill O'Brien out of the question?
No,
I don't
he's in
think-
at like 80-1.
Yeah, he's for sure not out of the question. That's insane, though.
Somebody tweeted out he was so terrified to play Wisconsin on the road under the lights that he chose to retire instead.
Something to think about. We can't say that that's wrong. We don't know that for sure. That's insane. I didn't know that.
I wonder how big of a hit the recruiting takes.
Big.
Yeah.
Big. I mean, it's still Alabama. It's still going to be the machine that Saban built, but it's going to be different.
Yeah.
They're the 9th overall recruit. I think next year or the year after already decommitted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why? Yeah. Why would you stay? I mean, you know who Alabama should go after? They should go after Dion.
Hell yeah.
Like Dion at Alabama would be unstoppable.
Bro,
like that
Deion-
recruiting wouldn't be fair.
Dion bringing Shadur and Travis Hunter to Alabama would be incredible.
That the come up.
Yeah.
The past 3 years, just steps up
Yeah.
that's insane. That's insane. I mean, I think Atlanta should do the same thing, though. The Falcons, I'm saying,
Certainly.
they should reach out to fucking Dion too. I know Dion says he doesn't want to go to the NFL, but man, you offer him a big enough bag, I would. And Dion loves money. I do know that.
Who doesn't?
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, Curling World, I would love for you to talk more about what you're saying. Randy,
it's a professional women's hockey league.
Tell something about it.
I didn't know that existed.
I mean, a lot of scary women in there for sure.
Andrew's got
Three trunks for legs.
Got a big good women's hockey team, don't they?
Yeah, very good. Very good.
Let's see. They got Minnesota, New York, Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, and Boston. They got 6 teams, and they have played 2 games this year.
Hate all those cities.
Randy, do the Patriots get a new coach? I
think
really don't know. I don't like how everyone's trying to control the narrative the entire time without any information.
Yeah.
So
I'm on the boat of I don't think they get a new coach until they tell us that they're getting a new coach.
I agree. I do think it's not out of the question that Belichick gets rid of one of his roles, like gets rid of, like they hire a GM to take control of the personnel and stuff. I think he'd be willing to do that. I think the Vrabel firing definitely, motivates everyone to say the right things in New England right now.
Certainly.
If I'm Bill Belichick and stuff like that, just because Vrabel's very tight there.
Mm-hmm.
Very tight. Does Harbaugh leave Michigan? Yes, I think he's already left. I have a feeling he doesn't return.
What more does he have to accomplish there?
Well, also, I mean, he's going to the Chargers. What are we doing?
They were playing He's a Jolly Good Fellow in the locker room after leaving. Like, come on, man.
Like, you had the cheating scandal. Get out while you have a championship. Don't stick around and deal with all the ramifications.
This is the coaching handbook, dude. Like, every single coach that has allegations, they leave. That's how you do it. So Harbaugh shouldn't fight against it. You leave.
Yep.
You got to. That's how you do it. And then do the Packers beat the Cowboys this weekend? Stay tuned to Lombardi Sweep, and we'll talk about it there. I little spoiler alert, I'm going to be host of the show. Very hosty, no analysis, because I don't want to talk about the Packers anymore. I'm done. I've checked out, punched my ticket. So I'll be asking questions and hopefully giving very little answers next show.
Just give it to Luke and I and watch magic happen.
Go for it. I mean, if I don't have to show up, even better. But for right now, let's talk about Underdog Fantasy. They have props for all of the games already up. And I've already seen a lot of movement because there is some weather situations this weekend. So if you like any of the props that we talk about, I would definitely lock it in right now. Again, Underdog Fantasy, either underdogfantasy.com or download the Underdog Fantasy app. Sign up with promo code Flurry, Flurry. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link in the description as well. Sign up, get your free money. Let me first talk about some of the weather situations. Obviously, half the games are played indoors, so we're good to go there. The biggest one is the Steelers versus the Bills. The total already is dropped by a full touchdown. It's dropped by 43-36 when I last looked. Talking a lot of winds, sustained winds around 20 to 30 miles an hour. We can see gusts up to 40 to 60 miles an hour. Possibly some snow. I have a feeling there's not going to be snow. But a lot of wind. We saw what Pittsburgh did with wind last week. We've seen the Bills in a very windy game. Obviously, we remember New England going there. So I would keep that in mind when you're playing your pick'ems, and we'll talk about that. The other big one is Miami, Kansas City. It's going to be cold as shit in Kansas City. Actual temperature around 10 degrees at kickoff, going down to around 0 by the end of the game. And then there's going to be a little bit of wind there as well, as there always is in Kansas City. So cold as shit. And I imagine Tua and some of the other Florida boys will be affected. And then Eagles, Buccaneers, we could see some rain. I don't think much, and I don't think it's, super strong. Like, we could definitely not get rain, but there's a possibility for rain, so keep looking at the forecast there as well.
Mike McDaniel is the guy who is probably, I'm sure he's accustomed to cold or whatever, but he's the guy who is going to go sleeveless and short shorts to coach a below freezing game.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't think he's that guy. I could see him having a fur coat on. I see that more than that.
Or like a really luxurious fur coat, one or the other.
That's a possibility. I don't think he's going to be cold. We'll see, but I don't know. But let's talk about a game that's indoors first. I think it's possibly the best game of the weekend in terms of even on even. We got Browns versus the Texans. We do have the luxury of these two teams meeting a few weeks ago. Same situation in Houston, but there was no CJ Stroud in that game. Flacco obviously played really well. That was the Amari Cooper record-breaking game. Amari Cooper is going to go. He was out last week with a heel injury. He said he could have played if he needed to. So I think we'll get a relatively close to 100% Amari Cooper, which is very good news. Well, let's start with Joe Flacco. A lot of props available for him. The half rushing yard is always tempting for me, but I actually, they took down my favorite one. They had 173.5 passing yards earlier.
Oh, that's over for sure.
If they give us that back, definitely go for it. But I guess my favorite now would be 274 passing plus rushing. Personally, he's played 5 games. He's passed for over 304 of them.
Yeah.
And the one he didn't was his very first game. So I think it's, they didn't have Njoku involved, and it was his first game off the couch. So I think Flacco's going to get out of bed and throw for 300.
I agree. And that's why I love Flacco's not running in this game whatsoever. I'm taking under half a rushing yard. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
No, can't do it. I will never do that.
Yeah, you can't do that. Another one that I like, and it kind of goes with his passing yards, over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I'm not saying Cleveland can't run the ball, but Joe Flacco is going to be slinging the rock, and I have a hard time believing he has easily over 300 yards and just 1 passing touchdown. I don't really see that.
And Houston overall this season's been terrible against the pass, by the way. Like, it's not like Flacco carved him up and he was the only one to do it. They've given up the 4th highest completion percentage. And what was the other one? They've given up the 6th highest yards per pass attempt. And in the game against them earlier, I think he was around 8.5 or 9 passing yards per completion, not even attempt. Like he had a good day. So I think both of them are fine. I would side with the yards just because I feel like touchdowns can be fluky, but he should go for 2 at least, but we shall see. Anything else with Flacco that you especially love, higher or lower?
I hate half a fumble lost.
Yeah, we don't need that negativity. What are we doing? Don't need that in our life at all. Nah, get it out of there. What are we doing?
Get it out of here.
Agreed. Jerome Ford, a player I've certainly criticized, but looking at these, we got 5 props available for him. For him to score a touchdown is boosted, which is interesting.
It is.
I don't love it, but it's certainly not a bad pick.
Like if they're scoring a rushing touchdown, it's Jerome Ford.
They've given it to Kareem Hunt a lot on the goal line.
I guess I guess.
I'm sure he's got his is boosted as well, boosted even more actually. I don't hate that. But he's carrying the ball a lot, but the one I think I'm drawn to, the 2 of them, I guess, the 2.5 receptions and 16.5 receiving yards. He's been pretty involved. I think I like the receptions more.
Yeah, I do.
Not 2-2-1. I do still like the receptions. Maybe I do like the yards more, but I do.
Well, just
I like them both.
To the point about receptions, I mean, you're gonna this is a young Texans defense who loves to get after the passer, right? How do you get around, Will Anderson screaming off the edge? You just throw it underneath on a little screen dump off. I imagine that happens at least twice this game, and all you need is one more.
Yeah, and I think both of them really, receptions and yards. Like this is such a low total where it's like game script wise, there's no bad side. Like right. He can do this in a close game or a game that they win by a lot. And then if they're down, that's easy money.
Flacco's big thing over, I guess, 11 years ago or whatever he was when he made the run with the Ravens was that he takes what the defense gets. Like he takes the dump downs in the high pressure situations. That's why he was so fucking good in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Jerome Ford can get 17 receiving yards on one screen. It's not like the line's 30 here. So, yeah.
I think I hate his rushing yards.
Hate it. Despise it.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch that in either direction. The game against them a couple weeks ago, he had 15 carries for 25 yards, which is horrible. Annoying. It's horrible, but it's also super annoying because they gave it to him a ton. And truthfully, I mean, one missed tackle, he gets it,
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't touch it.
Yeah, I'm staying away from it.
Combined, I can't imagine we like. So yeah, the receiving yards and receptions is where we're looking at.
If I'm betting on Ford, it's going to be higher on both of them.
Yeah. Cooper, again, coming off of an injury, which works in our favor. I think the projections kept a little bit low because of that. And like I said he could have played last week if need be. Browns rested some people, obviously. So I'm pretty optimistic he plays a full allotment of snaps. I talked about Amari Cooper being very good on turf, which this game is.
Also indoors.
Yeah, I mean, receiving yards and rushing and receiving yards are the exact same number. So whenever you do that and you're picking higher, I love the 73.5 rushing and receiving combined.
And just a refresher, you can't take them both?
No, you got to pick one per player.
Yep.
So
yeah, I mean, it feels like if there's ever been an Amari Cooper game, it feels like this has to be at least in the conversation for one.
Yeah.
Given what you said too about how bad Houston has been against the pass this year.
Horrible. If you're looking for a little bit of a safety net because with a tie or something, we got an even 5 receptions. So if you end up tying that means his selection will just get voided. So there is a safety net there. I do think he goes for over 5 anyway, but the rushing and receiving yards, I think is.
Yeah.
That might be my favorite one so far, maybe.
I agree. And I think, of course there's always the risk of it, but I think it'd be a fun one to root for a receiving touchdown from Amari Cooper as well. For sure.
Anything else with these?
No.
Okay, so the next guy, the man on fire, literally and figuratively, I guess. David Njoku's been so good the last few weeks. So, I mean, again, I'm just hammering his receiving yards.
Yeah.
Over.
Yep.
I mean, what's he's done last 3 weeks? 134, 44 in the game that Amari Cooper just did everything, and then 104.
But
and I assume he goes for over 54 in the game before that too.
I mean, even in that 44-yard game, he had 6 receptions.
Yeah, in a game that the Browns are winning pretty easily because there was no C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
So, love it.
Yep.
Love it. Again, touchdowns. If you think he's going to score, that's boosted 1.5. I do not hate that at all.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I'm doing receiving yards if you may have maybe pick out of these 3.
Same. We got the rookie Cedric Tillman, who's been more involved since Flacco's got there. I like his receiving yards higher than I like Elijah Moore's, but I'm probably staying away from both.
Yes.
Anything, touchdowns, receptions that you like about any of these guys?
I don't know, but you guys give your point of view on it too. It feels like betting on rookies in their first playoff game is kind of like that's not a quarterback is kind of somewhat a little risky. It's just kind of a feel, kind of see what it is. Now, of course, when I say that, Cedric Tillman's going to go for 190, and his prop next week is going to be, 75.5.
Yeah, true.
Well, and on top of that, we already got Ford, Cooper, Flacco, and Njoku. You got to feel really good about those. You need 2 different teams in there. So, I mean, which one of those 4 are you going to get rid of for Cedric Tillman to maybe get 20 receiving yards? It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
That's one too where if you bet the higher and it doesn't hit, you feel so fucking stupid.
Yeah, that's true. If you are concerned about Amari Cooper and you want to take a stand on that, I will say that would lead me to like Cedric Tillman more
than Elijah Moore.
Well, just in general, like if I'm negative on Amari Cooper thinking he's not going to play as many snaps because of his heel, those will go to Tillman.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
So, don't mind that, but yeah, not huge, strong feeling either way. We got Riley Patterson as the Browns kicker now. I don't feel strongly for either of those either.
I don't either, but higher than 2.5 extra points made would be very fun to root for.
Yeah, and it's not very often that that's boosted either.
Right.
Which is interesting, actually. Kareem Hunt, again, I'm not going his yards. I don't mind taking a shot at a touchdown, but it's a shot, right? That's all it is.
Yeah, it's more of a shot. Like I'm going to take it in a touchdown parlay as opposed to a real hardcore one.
Back-to-back games with touchdowns, though.
Ooh.
So never know. Zadarius Smith. I mean, just knowing us, I can't imagine we're taking him.
Fuck this dude.
Fuck him.
Yeah, I agree. I don't love any of these tackles just because. Like, I just don't know who's going to win this game. That's what makes this one more fun than any of the other playoff games for me, I think. I think the Browns win this game, but it really could go either way. If the Texans get up and can lean on the run, just give it to Singletary 20 times, then I love both of these tackles. I think they'll get funneled to these two, but if CJ Stroud's dropping back and throwing it, then it's going to be tough for them. So I'm not taking it. And then these people get baited into these star pass rushers all the time. They don't really get tackles, so avoid it. Okay. CJ Stroud, I got to tell you, I really hate picking players against this Browns defense, and there isn't anything I love here. If you think CJ Stroud's going to continue to stay really clean, then going the lower on interceptions makes sense. But I don't know. Do you guys have a strong feeling about anything with Stroud?
I mean, no, honestly. I like the higher 1.75, honestly, for fumbles lost. You would imagine Browns are going to be giving CJ Stroud all he can handle in the backfield to at least start the game. And I think Stroud's lost 8 fumbles this year, or maybe not lost, but fumbled eight times, I think I read. So there's a little, reasonable. It's reasonable to take this in my mind.
For sure.
Yeah, I got nothing bold to say about Stroud. He can be throwing the ball a ton and be clean, but I can also see Myles Garrett just destroy that offensive line, somehow rack up 4 sacks, and, he fumbles and throws an interception. So I think I'm steering clear of him.
I would be much more inclined to take Stroud's passing yards if Tank was playing in this game.
Yeah, I agree with that. But yeah, I feel like these are placed so well, these numbers, and it's hard for me to touch it.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like you're beating the book on CJ Stroud this week.
No, and there's enough other areas to attack, so no need to do that. Singletary, again, I think this is placed really well. Later in the week, they'll get receiving props for him. I think I'll take the higher on his receiving yards once it comes out. But with these, do you guys have a strong feeling on his running?
My only case to make for the running is, to your point, Zach, this is kind of the game that really it's a coin flip, right? It feels like, these are two, I'm not going to call Joe Flacco an inexperienced quarterback, but relative to the last couple of years, inexperienced in big moments in the NFL, maybe a little bit reliant on running backs in this game. I'm thinking of kind of a low-scoring defensive matchup. That just means a lot of rushing attempts in my mind.
That's fair. Yeah, for sure.
I out of those, I'm picking receiving, obviously, when it comes up, but I'd actually go under the rushing attempts, just because I think they're losing this game and they're trailing, and I think they need him for the pass game. Plus, he's only hit it once in the past 3 weeks, which is a small sample size, but it is something to keep an eye out on. But again, if Houston comes out and puts Cleveland behind early, he's easily probably going to get 20 carries. So that's a dangerous one.
Yeah, I know I was just kind of on the other side of that than you, Trevor, but that I do agree with you on that.
Yeah, I agree too. Nico Collins, again, I'm not taking these numbers at all.
No.
Are you guys?
No. If I'm betting on anyone to score a touchdown for Houston, it's Nico Collins, but that feels like really, really risky relative to what we've seen out of him this year.
Yeah, and I assume we're not taking Robert Woods, even though a 3x multiplier on that's tempting. But
I might do it, not for just to fuck around.
Yeah, maybe. That's fine, but there's no confidence in that.
No.
And we got Dalton Schultz against, at least at one point, the best fantasy defense against tight ends. Since coming back from injury, he hasn't really been that crazy, I don't think. I guess he had 61 yards against the Browns earlier, but that was with Case Keenum.
Yeah.
And who just fucking peppers tight ends with targets because that's the only person he can throw to. So,
remember when Case Keenum was ranked 21 in NFL Players of the Year? That was wild.
Was he that high?
Yeah.
That's insane. What a weird flash in the pan.
Yeah, right.
I hate that guy. But 38.5 receiving yards, he probably should be able to hit it, but I'm not taking it.
Yeah, I agree. It just feels so low for someone with the talent that Dalton Schultz has. And this goes back to my point of it feels like Cleveland is going to get after Stroud. Feels like the rookie should hit his big star tight end, but like you pulled up there, it really hasn't been that the last 3 games.
No. Nope. Then we got Keamy Fairbairn. who has been pretty dominant this year, except for when I labeled him the lock of the week last week. I'm not taking him. I think points are going to be scarce in this game overall, to be honest. But, if they get behind, they're not kicking field goals. Do I think they're going to score more than 2 touchdowns? Not really. So tough one for him, I think.
Three field goals feels like a lot.
Yes, completely agree. Then we got some defensive players. We got Steven Nelson, Jalen Peter, Blake Cashman, Christian Harris, Desmond King. Desmond King had a big second half last week. I'd still like him for over tackles and assists. I really like the even 6 number so we can get that push. Hard to imagine he gets 5 or fewer. Yeah, he's been really good in the running game.
He's a ball magnet.
Yeah, and then he's in the slot. So I like his tackles over. I don't love it, but I like it. And then Christian Harris would be the linebacker I'd take. I would take over 8 probably. Again, like it, but don't love it.
I agree. I would take over 8, but I think I'd take under 5 solo.
That's fair.
Like this Browns offensive line is good.
For sure. That's not a bad shout, actually. And it looks like solos, he's had some good ones, but only 5 against Cleveland the first time around. So if you pick 5, finish with 5, you're not out anything. So you're just assuming he gets less than 6. And I think that's a pretty good pick.
God, I wish they had lower on Zadarius Smith sacks.
I know. Same here. There's a few of those that I'm like, there's one for Rashawn Gary. It's also a half a sack. I'm like, under. Okay, let's go to Miami and the Chiefs. Remember, this game is going to be really cold. I don't love these Tua props. I think he's going to throw an interception, I guess. So I'd probably do that.
I like over 33.5 passing attempts.
That's fair. I mean, if they get down, that's what they're definitely doing.
Yeah.
They'll want to run it early. It's just, can they do it? We shall see. I actually don't hate fumble. Tua's small little hands are going to be numb. He's not going to be able to hold on the ball.
Yeah, Chris Jones is going to be a dog in this game.
Yeah, for sure. Anything else with Tua here?
It's another one I'm going to take lower on rushing yards for the quarterback. Like, Tua's not going to run in this game. He's going to get his head pounded.
That's going to be a really fun one to root for me as well. So I think I would probably do that too.
Yeah.
I need to go to a drive to Iowa so I can play some bets for this game. I want to do like an anti-Tua parlay, like interception, fumble, under rushing yards.
Hell yeah.
Lock it up.
And a Miami loss.
Oh, for sure. That's a lock.
W.
Okay. 8-chain touchdown. Don't hate it.
Yeah, I love it, to be honest.
Yeah, got a little boost on there. Nothing crazy, but don't hate that at all.
I think this is a case, too, like against, like I said about Cleveland, like Kansas City is going to get after you. That's what they blitz to get after you. Devon Achane might be, well, I guess he's got Tyreek Hill on his team. Maybe one of the top 5 fastest players in the NFL right now. If he gets a screen and has any sort of space, he's taking that bitch to the house.
Probably. I mean, we'll see how I can't imagine he has that much experience in this kind of cold, but never know. I don't know. I don't hate it. I like his touchdown a lot more than I like Jalen Waddle's.
Certainly.
I think I said it at some point this year. I don't know when. Like, I never have any faith in Jalen Waddle.
Never.
At all.
Never.
Like, he's one of the hardest players to predict for me. But then we got Tyreek. I mean, I feel like he has to go for 100, right?
Higher on everything here.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, you got a boost on touchdown too.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the ultimate chip on your shoulder game for any player that's ever played football.
And Espinoza thinks you could be a chain in a race, so I would take that as a compliment.
So I have a really good first step. That was my thing in football. I think I might be able to beat anyone in a 1-yard race in the world.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I also have a good first step. I have a good power step. That's the next one. Then after that,
Yeah.
We'll see. It depends on if you move or not.
Right.
Tough stuff. But yeah, Tyreek, this is one of those situations, like, don't overthink this.
Yeah.
I understand he's been not very good the past few weeks.
He's a superstar.
They have to feed him.
He's a superstar.
Especially then if they get down, which I think they will. Like, they're just going to say, get Tyreek the ball, and he'll move the chains.
Yeah. The only way Tyreek Hill doesn't hit any of these three numbers is if he gets hurt, and even if he gets hurt, he's not coming out of this game. This is one that he's had circled on his calendar for however long now.
I will say, if you can somehow, like on a sports book, find Tyreek Hill like first half numbers, I wouldn't mind taking the under on that. I can see him starting very slow and then getting like 6 catches for like 100 yards in the third quarter.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
So do you guys like his receptions or receiving yards most here?
I like his receiving yards more.
Yeah, you're right. Receiving yards feels more attainable than receptions.
I think I meant like touchdown more than the other two, though.
I do.
Yeah, I really like it.
I do, but if you don't want to, I get not wanting to throw a risk on it. So I would go receiving yards out of the two.
Fair. Durham, Smythe. He's actually been pretty consistent from my memory. I keep picking him higher for receiving yards.
Yeah, do it again.
Yeah, 56, 54, 30. He's going to be on the field, and he's just that middle of the field target. Yeah, that's easy for Tua right now.
He's a high-low guy with Tyreek Hill over the middle of the field.
Yeah. We'll see if, Waddle's limited whatsoever. If he's limited, it seems like Smythe is the next guy for targets.
Yeah, I'm hammering over 17.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites for sure. Jason Sanders. I don't mind. Never mind. I was going to say I don't mind the under for kicking points. That's where I would go. If I had to take one, I'd go lower than 6 kicking points. But I don't love it, I guess. I wish it was if we later in the week get higher or lower than 1.5 field goals, I'll take lower.
Sure.
On that.
Is it 2.0 extra points there?
Yep.
Like, I think I've already said that Tyreek Hill and Devon Achane are going to score touchdowns, and I feel like Miami scores more than 14 points in this game. So I'm going to take the higher on that.
That's fair. Any opinions on the kicking in this game, Trevor?
I am still team fuck Jason Sanders for losing the championship, so lower on everything.
Fair enough. Wilkins, big player, make big play in big game. So I don't mind the sack, but I'm not overly confident.
If we've ever seen anything with Patrick Mahomes, that he loves to extend plays, and that sometimes bites him in the butt a couple times a game.
Yeah. The only downside to him compared to like a Zach Sealer is that the Chiefs' interior of the offensive line is actually good. Their tackles are dog shit, but the interior is pretty good.
Shout out to Zach Sealer, by the way, helping me. I placed a bet with him over tackles. Easy money.
Really?
Nice. Good hit.
Yeah, that's honestly, he's been getting quite a few tackles, and he's been good for sacks since Chubb's gone down. Really, we don't have any.
Van Ginkel got hurt too, right?
Yeah, no Van Ginkel got hurt last game. So they keep losing a pass rusher every single week.
We'll get to them. We'll get to them in a sec. But 2 Wisconsin pass rushers going down the same week is kind of tough.
It is tough look, not great. Let's go to Mahomes. Whoops.
I'm sorry. I didn't hate Jalen Ramsey over 2 tackles still.
Too solo. I'm not a fan of.
Yeah, like Jalen Ramsey, his problem this year, he's been getting beat. I think he presses on MVS, and that doesn't even mean anything. So I think he's playing hard run coverage in this game.
That's probably true. I just don't know. Again, solo tackles versus total tackles is tricky.
I get it, yeah.
I think that's the only way he doesn't hit it, though, is if he just gets a bunch of combined tackles or whatever.
Sure.
Mahomes, though, I don't love these. I feel like he has a big run in every big game, though. So over 28.5, I feel like is attainable.
Yeah, I love it. Like I said on Lombardi sweep after the Packers played the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes is so much faster in person. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm in the mindset I like his passing yards to go over. I think that's pretty low. I know it's cold and the weather isn't going to be great, but I think he just force feeds Kelsey, which is kind of a live look into Kelsey over on the yards easily. And I think Kelsey gets 100 yards. So can he find, 150 elsewhere? I think so. Might not be the sexiest pick, but
I just brought this up to look at his passing attempts. 33.5 passing attempts isn't terrible either. I think I would take passing attempts over completions, but I don't hate it. Again, I'm not in love with it, but if you were looking at that pick and you needed somebody to talk you into it, I think attempts does go higher. I think he finishes with around 35. Okay, Pacheco, I love his touchdown. I feel like that's my favorite one of his. He'll probably run for a bunch though too.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking at their injury report here real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm taking Pacheco rushing yards.
Yeah, I think both hires pretty safe, honestly.
Did I miss it? Is Jerick McKinnon done for the year? Did I miss that?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Right. Super Bowl, he might be back.
Then I like Pacheco.
Yeah,
because Clyde is not going to be the guy in the playoffs.
No, he's not, especially in a cold game. I mean, Pacheco is going to run like an asshole and just, that's in the nicest way possible. I say that as a compliment.
You waste so much goddamn energy in those legs.
Yes, for sure.
So fucking funny to watch.
Okay, Travis Kelce, higher for both. I'm good.
57.5 is crazy.
Yeah, he's finishing with 100 yards.
Yeah, maybe 160.
Yeah, this is
crazy.
It's disrespectful. Like, I mean, whatever. I'm just gonna take the money. That's
Underdog's gonna lose a lot of money on that pick alone.
Yes, and I mean, this is probably reflects sports books and other fantasy sites. By the way, I truly think anything lower than 70 is safe. Just go higher.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like 75, I'll think about it. But yeah, I think he gets 100. Rashee Rice has been great.
I like him for a touchdown if I'm picking a pass catcher other than Kelce.
I do think I like his touchdowns more than receptions for sure, and probably more than yards. I think you'll see a fair amount of Jalen Ramsey maybe, and I feel like Jalen Ramsey's going to blow a play.
Yep.
So, that'd be a touchdown. Do you think Kadarius Toney comes alive in the playoffs?
Well, I think he gets an opportunity. Like, I think he gets a jet sweep. I think he gets a touch pass in this game. And I think Kadarius Toney is as electric with anyone in the NFL with the ball in his hand. So I think the 13.5 rushing plus receiving is very doable.
Yeah. Yeah.
That will be so fun and so painful to root for, but it'll be fun at the end of the day.
I mean, we know that the Chiefs have saved stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And if they've saved stuff, you would think it would be like a really good play for a playmaker, which would be, Kadarius Toney, one of the better ones. So, yeah, I think I would go higher. I would definitely do rushing plus receiving, not receiving.
Oh, right. You don't know if he's going to catch, first of all. So I think the jet sweep is what you're banking on here.
And it's a 3-yard difference. Like,
right.
Yeah. I like Mecole Hardman too. I like him higher.
Yeah,
He's a guy like he could have a huge game. I think huge game.
You think?
Yeah, I like Mecole Hardman a lot. Yeah, 12.5 yards is weird. It's really weird to me. Like, I feel like he's the missing piece that everyone's going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe they got Mecole Hardman back for nothing in the middle of the season. He was the catalyst for a Super Bowl run.
Yeah,
that's what that feels like.
How do we keep letting him do this?
Exactly.
That's the thing. You're right. And to Trevor's point, Trevor, you brought up Patrick Mahomes' passing yards. You said 100 going to Kelce. That means he's got to find 150 somewhere else. I don't think Rashee Rice gets 150 yards in this game.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not. I mean, do you guys have differing opinions about Hardman? I guess
Hardman is a guy that I'm not going to bet on just because I feel like I haven't seen it.
Sure. I mean, last week,
I guess
77. There's nobody playing, but
maybe that's just a kind of a get back game for Hardman. But I'm staying away from it personally. But I totally support taking the higher there.
Fair enough. Justin Watson is probably Mahomes' favorite receiver, not named Travis Kelce. He loves this guy. So yards is a little weird. I think I would still side with the higher, but I don't mind higher than 1.5 receptions, to be honest.
I'm taking the lower on receiving yards. I can't imagine he catches more than 2 passes in this game.
That's fair. If it's a close game, I like him a lot more. But yeah, he's kind of that go-to guy to move the chains a little bit. Maybe he sneaks out because he's white. People don't think he's fast, stuff like that. And then Noah Gray, in my mind, he's been pretty consistent. 17.5, I guess. I don't know. 9.5 receiving yards isn't hard to hit, but
it's not. I'm not willing to risk my parlay on Noah Gray.
That's very fair. Harrison Butker's, made big kicks in a lot of big games. Over 7 probably is fair.
Yeah, I'm over 7 and over 1.5 field goals made too, I think.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Nick Bolton, absolute stud.
Higher.
I'm just a little. I would side with higher. I'm a little nervous about how much Miami runs the ball, but they should. So
even if Miami doesn't, they utilize the middle of the field so well, and that's Nick Bolton's home.
That's true. Yeah, I would side with higher. I'm probably not touching Justin Reed.
No.
Chris Jones, we already mentioned. For Justin Reed?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. He's definitely going to be all over the field. But we talked about Chris Jones. I think he banks Tua's head off the turf at least once. So I like that.
It's a fun one to root for.
Yeah. Higher or lower than over 1.5 concussions for Tua. Definitely higher. McDuffie, not touching.
Get him out of my face.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so this game, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, this is the one that is going to be windy as shit. So keep that in mind. Mason Rudolph, I'm probably not touching. I don't mind the interceptions for him, but I just don't see a reason to play Mason Rudolph.
Agreed. He's another one I'm not willing to lose a parlay on. I'm going to just stick with my what's been making me a lot of money this year. I'm going to go higher than 4.5 rushing yards. If it's windy, he's not going to be able to throw the ball.
Yeah. That's fair. Trevor, anything with Mason Rudolph?
It's going to snow there too, right? It's supposed to.
Chance. Super windy though.
Man, I don't want to touch him, but 160.5 passing yards is such a low threshold.
But look what he did in weather last week. He got 152.
It's Mason Rudolph, Trevor. Don't fall into the trap.
Yeah, I'm probably not touching him.
Yeah, don't do that to yourself. I will say for Najee, they checked it down to him a lot last week in weather. I think they'd be willing to do that again. I think he probably hits over 15.5 rushing yards. The only way he doesn't is if they get blown out early.
Attempts.
And then I think attempts, yeah. And then I like 59.5 rushing yards as well. Yep. Bills run defense isn't very good. Najee's been rolling.
Yep.
So I like all 3 of those.
Yep. I think
I like yards too.
I agree. And I think if any Steelers scores in this game, it's going to be Najee Harris.
That is fair. Yeah, I guess that's boosted too. Yeah, he's been out of practice, I think, today, but he's been sitting out of practice quite a bit lately, so not worried. Jalen Warren, I think I'd take the higher on receiving yards of any of these.
If you had to make me pick, I hate Jalen Warren, but if you had to make me pick, then
yeah,
sure.
Yeah, I'm not confident.
Yeah, I hate all of these.
Trevor, you like any of these? His rushing yards did just drop by 1.
Well, I was just about to say Najee Harris's rush plus receiving yards just went up by 1 to 71.5. What are your thoughts on the rushing receiving yards receiving split between these two? Because obviously Najee had 5 receptions last week. Jalen Warren had 5 as well. Is he pretty much a guarantee for 5? Because if so, 3 receptions seems pretty low.
I don't think he's a guarantee. It was just one of those things where they couldn't do anything downfield. So he probably should benefit. But, if the Steelers are winning, which I think is very possible, they're just going to run the ball. But yeah, I like that. I like higher on receptions. I like higher on receiving yards. That's where I'd live.
Did I read that stat right, that Najee Harris is the first Steeler to have 3 straight 1,000-yard rushing seasons?
Maybe
I don't know
out of college.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't. That's possible, I think.
If it's possible. Yeah, it's possible. But it's just crazy for how good the Steelers have been for so long. Look that up quick.
That can't be right with Le'Veon Bell, right?
Le'Veon was hurt a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and he did a lot of receiving. Najee's receiving yards just went down by 1, by the way. So you can get 7.5 receiving yards, take the higher.
It was first player to start with 3 straight rushing seasons. Never mind.
Okay. Pickens, I'm not touching it whatsoever.
Is Rasul Douglas, he was held out of practice? Do we have thoughts on him playing? Because if he plays, this is what we get out of bed for, the George Pickens versus Rasul Douglas matchup.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's going to be, I think he probably plays, but I think it's definitely 50-50.
Yeah, that's my number one matchup, wide receiver corner of the week.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Be very fun.
That's a lot of shit talking coming in that one.
Yes. Deontay, I think I side with the over 3.5 receptions, but I'm probably not touching it. You love it?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay.
I'm loving the yards.
Okay.
I feel like he has 10 yards per reception. That's 30 right there. But
I loved him last week in the weather.
Got on 1 catch.
4 catches, 89. But
I did forget about that long one. That would bring him down to 19 yards on the other 3?
Yeah. I watched the game and I was sweating it. that
long one must have felt good.
Yes. So I don't think it's a gimme. It should be a gimme, but I don't think it is. But I do think I like the higher on both. Pat Freiermuth, I think again I would go higher. I'd pick receptions over yards, but
I hate
Pat. Don't love it. Same here.
I hate him because my roommate is adamant that he's a better player than Dallas Goedert.
No.
Adamant.
Yeah, that's not true.
Yeah.
I think he's fine.
No, Packer fan. Hardcore Packer fan.
I've watched Heath Miller for a lot of years.
Yeah.
And I'd take Heath Miller over Pat Freiermuth. Heath Miller's the slowest guy who's wide ass open all the time.
I was going to say, he's got to be up there for most boring players in NFL history.
Yes, but he's so bland white that I kind of like it.
Yeah. It's I would put Owen Daniels ahead of him, to be honest.
I like Owen Daniels. Come on, Wisconsin product. I don't know what Heath Miller sounds like. Does he have an accent? Does he have a really high voice? I kind of want to know, but also I like the mystery.
When have you ever seen Heath Miller where Ben Roethlisberger was not throwing him a football?
Yeah, there's never been a microphone in front of his face.
Right. Never seen a video outside of the stadium, nothing.
No.
Zach, this is for you. Owen Daniels signed picture.
Hell yeah.
Love it.
Hell yeah.
Owen Daniels. He's a stud. Chris Boswell, again, super windy game. This is where Boswell thrives, dude.
He's money, man. He's played in Pittsburgh for years.
Yeah. He has no business hitting a field goal in this game. I kind of like the higher.
He's going to hit 3.
Yeah, every single time Pittsburgh makes the playoffs and I watch Chris Boswell, I'm like, how is this guy still so fucking good?
So good. He doesn't get enough credit. He is so good. Yeah, love that. Again, only way that doesn't hit is if the Steelers get down by too much, which I don't think happens, but we'll see. Obviously, TJ Watt is out, which is terrible.
Yeah, it sucks.
Highsmith, he's probably going to get the protection slid his way a little bit, which isn't great. That's for tackles and assists, though, which I'm not going to take. I don't mind a Cameron Hayward sack, though.
I hate it. Josh Allen's not getting sacked by Cameron Hayward.
I don't know. Cameron Hayward's a dog.
I hate Josh Allen so much that I've started this theory that the NFL told Montravius Adams to run into TJ Watt's knee just so he didn't have to play TJ Watt.
Yeah, maybe. Speaking of a name that's very similar to the one that you just said it in a way, not really, but kind of. Martavis Bryant's still on the Cowboys.
Hell yeah.
What?
Hell yeah.
Nothing's happened. It's so weird. It's the quietest he's ever been. It's weird. Okay, so we got Josh Allen. They just took down his rushing and receiving touchdowns during the show. They'll probably put that up at some point.
Higher.
Yeah, that's the one to pick, I think, right?
Always.
Or interceptions. I mean, he'll throw one.
Always.
Yeah.
They both hit last year. Did he get a rushing touchdown last week?
No.
I think so. Oh, no, he didn't.
Oh, no.
2-2. Yeah, not last week.
He had the 2 interceptions instead.
Yeah, I mean, The second interception was the worst interception I've ever seen.
I'll say it. I'll give us kudos. I think all three of us agreed that Josh Allen over half an interception was our favorite pick last week.
Yeah, I mean, big game. Fire it up.
Yeah.
I'll say Minka probably gets it.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Like, it's going to be a big name guy. He's just going to fucking lob it up to him.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you like anything positive for him here? Or do you like the under on anything?
I don't hate 19.5 higher than 19.5 completions. That feels low for Josh Allen. I know it's a windy game, but it's still Josh Allen.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it depends on, fully depends on game script, I guess. We've seen them be more than happy running the ball under Joe Brady, like if they're up.
37.5 rushing yards. I loved as well.
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty good. James Cook, I don't mind his rushing yards either. I think that's where I would go if I take any of these.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Stephon Diggs, I kind of would like to take the under on receiving yards.
Yep.
To be honest.
I do too. I would too. Like, Mike Tomlin's a good enough coach to know who the best player on the other team is.
It's just, I mean, his biggest yardage output last week was 87. That was the most, I think, was since week 4.
Yep.
I will say 3 first downs is interesting. I don't know if it just loaded in for me. 8 targets and 3 first downs he also has now.
I mean, he should hit the higher on targets at least. I don't know. I'm probably staying away from Diggs altogether, would be my guess.
Yep.
Gabe Davis is still injured?
Yeah, he 50-50 again to play, I would say.
I mean, if he doesn't play, Stephon Diggs has to be the field stretcher in this game.
Gabe Davis doesn't impact Stephon Diggs. There's no way.
You're right.
Gabe Davis has zeros in like at least 3 or 4 different games this year.
No,
Diggs has still been terrible.
You're right. My point being is that someone needs to take a safety out of the picture, and that's been Gabe Davis all year.
Would that make you dislike Diggs' yards more, though? Or do you like it more because of that?
Honestly, I'm kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm staying away from Diggs. I'm not touching
I mean, you're right. I'm trying to form an argument why I like it more, and I can't. No, honestly.
It's tough. Yeah, I don't love it. I think I like Dalton Kincaid's yards higher, but he's been pretty quiet since Dawson Knox has come back, though, too.
Yeah. They, I don't know who it was. Some app reported Dawson Knox scored last week, right?
I think so.
I think they reported Dalton Kincaid scored. That's how much everybody wants Dalton Kincaid to score.
Yeah. Fantasy community definitely thinks highly of him. If Gabe Davis is out, I would think that helps Kincaid a little bit.
That's probably the one that helps, of course.
Yeah, I mean, we'll also see more of Sherfield, a little bit more Khalil Shakir as well. Once we get Shakir's like yardage or receptions, I probably like his receptions more. I won't say that. He's at least the best route runner out of these Bills receivers. Like, if you need someone to get open underneath for a quick throw, it's going to be him.
Yep.
I almost said he's the best receiver. And, I mean, Diggs is good. I'll say that. I'll go on that bold take.
Stephon
Diggs is good. Yeah.
I'll join you on that take.
Yeah. Tyler Bass, I can't touch.
No.
Right?
No. Cannot.
I like Bernard's tackles higher, probably. I think he should get double digit in a game that the Steelers want to run it as much as possible. I'm not touching Poyer.
No. DeMar Hamlin was a full participant in practice today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Great. Good for him.
Dude.
He can't play. He's going to take the fucking spotlight in this game. It can't do it.
Put DeMar Hamlin on George Pickens.
Because he's from Pittsburgh. So it's going to be like the Pittsburgh boy come back to life to beat the Steelers.
Right.
If DeMar Hamlin makes a play that changes the game, we need to throw a flag immediately. We cannot let that stand.
No, he shouldn't be here. No, don't like it.
I need it in my blood to see Pickens pancake him.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he's going to hit him off the line of scrimmage and kill him again.
Yeah.
And Pickens will not care.
No, God, no.
I want to see Pickens do like a stumbling celebration, like Jordan Nora did. Luke, that would be so fucking funny.
If Pickens scores a touchdown on Hamlin, and then they do like the resuscitation celebration, that would be all time.
Come on, George.
That would be incredible. Okay, let's go to Packers Dallas here. Obviously hitting home. We'll cruise through these. I don't really love any Jordan Love one. I'd probably take the higher on rushing yards, but that's about it. You guys?
Go ahead, Trevor.
You're not interested in 2.5 sacks taken? The over on that?
I don't have it on mine at the current moment, but no, I'm also not interested in it.
Okay.
I mean, Green Bay is going to be passing in this game.
Probably, yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
So I like 23.5 completions.
Okay. Yeah.
What about can I get you to go for the under on 66.2 completion percentage, Zach, or no?
Oh, yeah. I don't have that on mine, but yeah, 100%. Give it to me. Give me all. Oh, my God. For sure. That. Oh, my God. I'm going to put $100 on that and Tua interception and Josh Allen interception. Fucking fire it. That's a lot.
Have you guys seen the meme? It's like being nice is being free, but so is being a hater.
Yeah. I mean,
that's what this is.
Yeah. For sure. Love it. Love everything about it. Stephon Gilmore, though, possibly playing in a harness. So
yeah,
don't love that. But I mean, he'll be fine. Aaron Jones should have over 100 rushing yards. Will he? I don't know.
I think he will.
Like that?
Yep. Aaron Jones has historically destroyed Dallas.
Do you prefer 69.5 rushing more than the combined rushing and receiving?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I think I would too. And again, he should go for higher than that, but we could see fireworks from Dallas early, and LaFleur would go completely away from the running game then.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, then of course I like rushing plus receiving more, of course. Injury report on A.J. Dillon?
He didn't practice today.
Yeah, so I mean, Aaron Jones is going to be on the field as much as possible. Like, he has to be. You're not putting Patrick Taylor in this game.
I hope not.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, hope not. Do you like the touchdowns on any of these Packers receivers?
I like Dobbs the most.
Okay.
It feels like in the high pressure situations, Dobbs is kind of. I know Jaden Reed's been awesome, but it feels like Dobbs is kind of loves first look in these high pressure games.
I will say if he has Gilmore on him and there's some hand fighting for the jump ball that Dobbs has been so good to come down with, having Gilmore a little bit injured there certainly helps.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jaden Reed receiving yards is the only receiving yards we got. Do you like that higher?
Not really, to be honest. Like it's hard. My heart is telling me yes, but as a football analyst, it feels very risky.
I don't mind it. I don't know, Trevor. What's your thought?
I'm staying away from it, but if I were to pick, I'd go over.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
God, they need to put Tucker Kraft receiving yards on here. That's higher for sure.
Yeah, dude. Like, they're not even considering Luke Musgrave this week.
Right. No chance.
And then Bo Melton might not even be active for this game, by the way. Yeah. He's been so good. He might not play.
I want to see. I need a Dontavian Wicks higher, lower separation routes. That dude is running incredible routes lately.
So good. Thank God Christian Watson's back to get him off the field.
Fair.
Yeah.
He's been great, though.
All the analysts were saying that Christian Watson is the best receiver that Jordan Love has, and I don't think they could be any more wrong.
He might be the worst.
I agree. Wicks has been terrific. And Jaden Reed's been terrific, too. Honestly, they've been both very good.
Yep.
Am I crazy for wanting to just smash the under on kicking points for Carlson?
No.
Do we actually think he's going to make field goals in this game?
That'd be so fun to cheer for, too.
He's missed a field goal in 8 out of the last 10 games.
Yeah. Yeah. It's insane. Yeah. Not crazy.
The Honors Carl, and I'll talk about it on Lombardi Sweep, but the Honors Carlson experiment has to be over after this year.
It won't, but it should.
Jonathan Owens tackles probably should go higher.
Yeah.
Probably. Jair, I'm not touching, but I'd like to.
I want to.
Favorite player of the NFL right now. Not even close. Sacks.
No.
I
don't hate Devontae Wyatt.
I mean, the one I like the most would be Van Ness, and he's not on here. So
the one
I think he could get Tyron Smith.
Yeah, I like Devontae Wyatt the most out of these four here.
Yeah, that's not bad. Tyler Smith should play this week, but he won't be 100%. So him or Kenny Clark could get him off, balance a little bit.
Of course, there's a lot of really keys to stopping Green Bay's defense, but the biggest one is making sure Kenny Clark does not blow up your play.
Yeah, he's so good. He's. I think I like him for sacks out of the ones available.
Yeah, my thinking is just that he probably sees double teams all game.
Should. We'll see. Cowboys. I mean, I probably like his passing yards higher, but I don't think I would take it.
I would say higher than a half interception if they were playing any other team in the NFL this week.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't trust it. I don't trust it at all. So yeah, that's that. Tony Pollard, again, his usage is so fucking up and down. So who truly knows? I think I like his receiving yards higher, but I don't fully know.
14.5 is really low for a guy who's supposed to be a bell cow running back.
Yeah.
Against maybe the worst rush defense in the NFL.
I don't trust it.
I think I'm taking his rush attempts 17, 16, and 12. I mean, if they get up big, they're going to be jamming it down their throats. I don't think they give Dowdle that many carries.
Could be a Rico Dowdle game. Who knows?
I need people to understand, too, that Mike McCarthy is still the coach of Dallas, so who the fuck knows what's going to happen?
That's very true.
Yeah, who knows? Dan Quinn could be fucking checked out. Seattle? Yeah. Like, truthfully, Dallas could crumble quickly. However, CeeDee Lamb, I think I have him locked in at 96.5 receiving yards. Oh, never mind. I was looking at the wrong one. Love it. Love the higher. 150 maybe.
Probably.
I love the rushing receiving yards more too. He's been used in rushing more, and that's only an extra 5 yards. Yes, please.
Yeah, that's fair. We'll see how much he lines up in the slot with Devondre Campbell covering him. Because, I mean, a
CeeDee Lamb jet sweep to Rashawn Gary's side is 15 yards.
Turpin too? Yeah, for sure. Ooh, yeah, that's not going to be good. Didn't even think about it. Cooks is on a nice little touchdown streak, I think 3 weeks. At least 3 weeks. So I don't hate his touchdown. Again, receiving, could he see a lot? He could see some Jair, but he also could see Eric Stokes. So I don't hate it.
Yeah, I'm staying away, but I agree.
Ferguson against the Packers.
Yeah,
if you're a Packer fan listening to the show right now, and you need any reason, and of course nobody's ever going to say, I need a reason to root for something on Dallas, but Jake Ferguson is the reason. Like, you'll have fun rooting for Jake Ferguson.
Yeah.
And I was just about to ask, what do you think about Ferguson's 4 receptions? They also have 6 targets for him now.
I don't like the 4 receptions. He's kind of been up and down as well as of recent.
Yeah.
I like the touchdown most out of these.
Yeah, I think I like the touchdown most. I don't hate any of them, but I think I like the touchdown most. I think I would go yards over I'd go receptions over targets for sure, and I might go yards over receptions. So I might have it ranked like this. Honestly, I don't hate a Rico Dowdle touchdown at all, and I don't hate his rushing yards at all. I said it jokingly that it's a Rico Dowdle week, but it may not be a joke.
Maybe it's ignorance on my part, but his 4.5 receiving yards, like, that feels like it could happen.
For sure could. They have enough running backs where they don't need to give it to him, but I mean, he's caught a few passes this year. I mean, 54 last week, I guess. So yeah, I mean, for sure.
If I see fucking Deuce Vaughn do anything in this game, I am going to be pissed.
Yeah, fair enough. Any other thoughts to these guys at all, I guess? Pass catchers?
No.
Okay, Brandon Aubrey kicking points. I think I'd go higher than 3 extra points. I think that would be the one I'd do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because you get the tie at 3.
Yeah, kicking points the last 3 weeks have all been right at 8. So that seems like a pretty high threshold, especially if you think the Cowboys are going to win.
Not that this has anything to do with this game. He missed a field goal last week.
Yep.
He got it blocked.
Okay.
Yeah, so doesn't count in my opinion.
Shout out Washington Commanders.
Hey, they fought. They fought for old Ron.
Did they?
I don't know. Okay, so defensive players here. I don't really like Curse. I don't mind a Donovan Wilson tackle, but weird set.
I love Micah Parsons.
Oh, you like
4 tackles and assists?
He's not a huge tackle guy. 5, 6, 7. I mean, I guess he's done it lately. I don't know.
I think he could just wreak fucking havoc on this team.
For sure. I mean, if his sack was there, I mean, even 1.5 sacks, I may be tempted to the over, but
I was going to say I love DeMarcus Lawrence over half a sack in this game.
I mean, I love the multiplier.
Yeah.
That would get me to him. I love the Deron Bland 3x defensive interception.
Yep.
Like, come on, give it.
Is there like a 6x for a pick 6 too? Because then I'll take that as well.
For sure.
Did you guys see the tweet before Deron Bland got his record-setting pick 6? The guy was he's on the FanDuel Sportsbook, and he says, "What the fuck? FanDuel Sportsbook has touchdown or pick 6 props now." And then he quoted, he said, "Well, what the fuck?"
That's pretty good. I did not see it.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Okay, quickly, Rams, Lions.
Higher. Stafford pass higher.
Yeah, I think so. I will say though, he's going to throw at least 1 interception in this game. So
yeah.
I think that pops up.
You're chucking the ball in this game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Kyron Williams. Hopefully we get a touchdown one for him.
I hate all those on there for him.
Yeah, I don't love him. I'd probably take the receiving yards, but don't love him. Cooper Kupp.
Higher.
I don't love or hate any of these. I think I'd go higher on yards over the others.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Higher receiving yards. Can we have a Cooper Kupp discussion real quick?
Sure.
What's Cooper Kupp worth in Dynasty right now? Are you trying to go out and get him?
No.
Yeah.
Not really. We also, I mean, very easily could be Stafford's last year.
Right.
So we're saying maybe Carson Wentz with Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think he's that valuable.
In one of my leagues, I'm trying to pull off this guy has the 5th and the 6th, or the 4th and the 6th pick. I'm trying to trade Cooper Kupp, DeAndre Hopkins, and 2 seconds for those 2 picks.
Good luck. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
he might. Higbee, can't imagine we're taking. Puka.
Higher, receiving yards higher.
I'll take his yards.
Yeah.
CJ Gardner Johnson's back in this game, right?
Yes, he should be back.
Okay.
Demarcus Robinson's had a nice, strong end of the season.
Higher.
Probably higher.
Higher.
Yeah. Again, even number for that, so definitely take this. He's gotten some rushes, I think. Brett Maher. Field goals probably higher.
I think extra points as well.
Okay.
I like extra points more than field goals, to be honest. I think they score touchdowns in this game.
That's fair. Jared Goff. I don't love any of these. Maybe fumbles lost.
Yeah.
What about these are 2 that I have? 2 sacks taken and 70 completion percentage.
I would take the higher on 2 sacks. Is it a scorcher, I'm guessing, or is it higher or lower?
Nope, just a higher or lower.
Okay, I love it even more then. So, yeah, I like that. He's not going to get sacked once.
If you guys can't tell, I think the Rams destroy the Lions in this game. So I'm probably taking lower on all lines here.
I think it's for sure a 1-score game.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's a one-score game with either Jared Goff or Matthew Stafford getting the ability to win or lose.
I saw a tweet. I saw a tweet that said everyone's been talking about how Stafford gets to play Dallas or gets to play Detroit again. How come they're always talking about Jared Goff gets to play the Rams again?
Yeah, I know. That's very true.
You know what I want to see? It would be perfect. The Rams come down the field, they score to tie it up, or to go up one, or tie it up. They go for 2 to an eligible offensive lineman, and they identify correctly. That would be just great. Just watch Detroit meltdown.
That would be good. Jahmyr Gibbs, hard to trust anything, but probably higher on receiving.
Yeah.
Tough though.
Yep.
Montgomery.
It's also tough for me to say, and maybe it's my bias towards David Montgomery, but if anyone's scoring on this Lions team, it really feels like David Montgomery is the number 1 option, right?
For sure. Yeah, for sure the top player. So, I mean, that's the one I like the most probably.
Yeah, like if they get within the 5-yard line, Dan Campbell's a smart guy. It really feels like he's not giving the ball to a rookie in a playoff game.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not Amon-Ra. I think he probably has a pretty good game.
7.5's high for receptions.
It is. I would gear towards the receiving yards, I think.
Okay.
I'm going for his combo yards.
Okay. Jameson Williams, hit or miss, but I don't mind his receiving yards either. Couldn't hate his receptions more.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'll take lower on receptions for sure.
That's fair. Yeah, I like his receiving. I think he gets one big catch.
Yeah.
Will that be 36 yards or not? I don't know. Donovan Peoples-Jones not touching. Reynolds, they love, but that's kind of...
Don't hate 2.5 receptions.
I don't hate it. It's set pretty well, I think. He probably gets 3, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not touching a Lions kicker at all. No. Hutchinson sack, I like it. I think he gets 1.
Yeah, Stafford's not moving out of the pocket, so yeah.
No. Hurts, tough to pick right now with his finger, I would say. Do you guys have any opinion on these?
No, I don't. Of course, like if a rushing receiving touchdown comes up, I'm taking the higher for sure. But I think that's the only thing I would take on Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair.
Swift, I'm not touching. AJ Brown, I'm not touching.
Yeah, probably not.
Smith, I'm not touching. I'm not touching Goddard's touchdowns. If he gets like a reception or something, maybe I would. Because I think he gets maybe 4 or 5 receptions.
I was gonna say it's probably gonna be 3.5 if they put one on.
I hope so. Yeah. I would take the higher on that. If it's at 4.5, I'm not touching it.
Yep.
Elliott.
I like higher.
Yep.
I lean higher. I'm not sure if I like it enough to pick it. Cox not touching. Baker Mayfield. I feel like rushing he could go higher.
Yeah, certainly.
Probably interceptions.
Interceptions, yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'd go probably. I mean, he should go higher in passing yards too, with the way the Eagles are playing right now. To be honest.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see if they put a touchdown prop on here.
Yeah, for sure. Rashad White, probably higher. Not touching these.
Higher
like his rushing or this one?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's a driving force of the Buccaneers, and I think he's been that all year.
He's been great. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just not confident in his rushing in this game.
So you touch that over the 16.5 rushing attempts?
Yeah.
I think the one I like most is receiving yards, but again, I think I'm staying away.
I guess to make my logic clear, I would probably take receiving yards over the rushing plus receiving, just given that I don't love the 16.5 rushing attempts.
Yeah, I'm not convinced Buccaneers run the ball well.
Yeah.
We'll see. Chase Edmonds, not touching.
Fuck out of my face.
Yeah. Chris Godwin, he's been pretty good lately. He's going to get right around that yardage total. I'd probably take higher, but again, not confident.
Yeah, agreed. That's how I feel about receptions as well.
Yeah. Any lean on Evans? Anybody?
If I had to, gun to my head, I'm going under rush and receiving yards because I don't think there's a chance in hell they run with them. And
No.
I think the Eagles can at least slow him down enough to get, a 5-catch, 45, 50-yard game.
If I'm taking one with him, I think I'm taking his touchdowns.
Yeah, probably.
Because I can see a bad game, but he scores a touchdown or something.
I do with the multiplier on it. I like it.
Yeah. Kate Otten, not touching. Chase McLaughlin, not touching.
Yeah.
Trey Palmer, not touching. Devin White, 3.74.
Devin White sucks. I'm going to say it.
I mean, he looks better that he plays for sure.
Yeah.
I don't hate Levante David's tackles, but
I don't hate his assists.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like all of them.
Yeah. Fair enough. And that's that. We are not doing a draft. Okay. So got a bunch of Underdog picks there. Again, sign up for Underdog Fantasy, either underdogfantasy.com or download the Underdog Fantasy app. Use promo code Flurry, FLURRY, and you can get a $100 deposit match and take advantage of all the promos that are going to be ran this weekend. I assume we'll get a Tyreek Hill one, probably like a half a yard or something. So definitely go sign up, make a bunch of money, and then come back next week. Let us know how you did. We'll be back again Wednesday night, probably doing more Underdog Fantasy picks. So see you then.